maybe when he does look through it, he may be able to tell us something about the immune system. Now, many people are saying that, and that's the thing, there's a lot of opinions, as you may have assumed. Some are even saying that Mpox is a cover-up for the side effects of COVID. Others are saying that the vaccines are actually, I think it's called VAID, VIDE, something like that. I can't remember. How is it spelled again? Can I remember? Something like a VADI or VAID. I can't quite remember now. It's said to be, well, they say that this is a vaccine that causes immune dependency. All right, I'm hoping to have the doctor at some point to speak on it. I was going through the news and I found out that in Australia, they even created their own vaccine and withdrew it because there was a HIV strain in the vaccine. Yeah, you heard me. Right. And you can Google that just so you can read it. And something also very interesting, and that's the thing about opinions and rumors. I'm not trying to alarm you in any way. I will just bring to you not necessarily the conspiracy theories, but as much as I find in the news, I will bring to you. So yesterday, one of the things that I realized that a lot of people from my research were pretty much throwing around was a HIV strain. In fact, many people were saying that now when they go to their physician for a checkup, that they're now asked if they would like to have a HIV test done. And I remember one of the comments I read from a gentleman said that he's never been asked that question before. But now they were asking him, and this was the second time he was being asked whether he wanted to get a HIV test done. Okay, so I tried to follow up where this may have come from, and there was this Luc Montagnier, I guess that's the name, he was the French Nobel Prize winner that I told you won a Nobel Prize for his discovery of either the discovery or treatment for that discovery of HIV/AIDS, something in that line. Well, he was quoted to have said, if you get up to 3 vaccinations, it would be necessary, in fact, maybe even compulsory. If you get 3 of the vaccines, it could be necessary for you to check for HIV. And so these are just a few informations I've picked up. I'm really trying to put that together for Wednesday. Again, it's not to alarm you. I'm just reporting what's in the news. And I do intend to have the doctor at some point, hopefully, to speak on. And so that's the thing I find very difficult, is that our lack of testing. So our lack of collecting data. It's as though we have to wait for someone to die yonder, and then they do their own medical scientific finding and put it in a literature and send it to the world. And then we use theirs. I wish we had that situation where there's an actual documentation here, where we're testing Nigerians, we're evaluating Nigerians, we're observing Nigerians, we're looking at how Nigerians who have been vaccinated are responding to it. All of that. I wish we had that. I wish I could come here Wednesday and bring before you a Nigerian research in that regard, but it's not quite, well, we're not there yet. I mean, we're still talking about bread. Yeah, we're talking about fuel queues. We're still trying to figure out electricity and how much it should actually be for a free and sovereign nation as Nigeria. We're still trying to establish where we are economically. I mean, in the news, the Nigerian government is in some very dramatic dispute with a Chinese company that initially seized 3 flights and then released one, the new one that was just purchased by the Nigerian government. It's like, yeah, there's just so much drama. It doesn't appear that we're focusing fully and totally on our collective development. And development would be you invest in research and scientific works, and you see how your people are responding to your medicines, wasn't it just recently that the Nigerian government gave a tax waive to the pharmaceutical company to aid in the importation of pharmaceutical products to create medicines for Nigerians? It's like, yeah, we're just somewhere in the shadows while we're observing the world. Okay, so that's for Wednesday. Today, we're going to begin with a very tragic news reporting. Tragic, and maybe you already know what I'm referring to, which is the kidnap of 20 medical students in Benue. I think we have spoken about this so much so much. We've spoken about this so much. I even think in the speaking, we may have left a trail of solutions for the government. I want to say that the government is aware, and you know that that is a statement of fact, that the government is aware. The question now becomes, what is the government doing about it? Okay. Initially, when I saw a tweet, on, I think it was, I'm not sure where I saw it, whether Twitter or Instagram, I don't know. It didn't appear to have the initial weight. Maybe because I was probably distracted. And then I thought later that, hold on, I saw a tweet somewhere. What was that person saying? Then I realized it was actually one of the medical students kidnapped. So here is what the news reports. Over 20 medical and dental students, along with a house officer, have been kidnapped by gunmen in Benue State. The students from the University of Maiduguri and the University of Jos were on their way to attend an annual convention of the Federation of Medical and Dental Students in Enugu. Now, the kidnap occurred at 5:30 p.m. And it was said that the students were ambushed by gunmen while traveling together. So, I'm not sure how to begin this very conversation of kidnapping. We've kidnapped the uneducated, we've kidnapped the educated, we've kidnapped lawmakers, we've kidnapped innocent Nigerians, we've kidnapped the poor, we've kidnapped the rich. Like, it's such a serious issue that one wonders if the government's really taking this as serious. Are they really looking at this with the urgency that it deserves? 20 medical students. Oh, hold on a second. Let me just quickly go to what appeared to have been, I think, a day before the report of the kidnap. This is dated 13th August 2024. It was said that the Tinubu administration is working to approve a national policy on health workforce migration to address the challenges facing Nigerian health and human resource. Okay, so this is actually according to the Minister of Health and Social Welfare, and it was disclosed on X, Twitter, in case that's how you know it. It was said that the policy is more than just a response to the ongoing exodus of healthcare professionals, but a comprehensive strategy to manage, harness, and reverse health worker migration. To be honest, it is one thing to suppose that a policy can help manage, maybe even prevent or reverse health worker migration. In actuality, I think what Nigerians should be discussing is it even possible to reverse health worker migration given the issues that we're dealing with? So our topic this first hour is, how possible is it to reverse health worker migration? Welcome to the Sunny Side. My name is Joyce, and it's so unfortunate that another work week, and maybe one's too many, we're having now to discuss again the kidnap of innocent Nigerians. And it's funny because they kidnap these people and they ask these people for monies they don't have. You kidnap innocent, struggling Nigerians, and you say, go and bring 20 million, go and bring 50 million. Where are they supposed to find it? This is even excluding those who have died, those who have been killed. I saw another tweet, and the tweet read, they will start killing us tomorrow if we don't make up the ransom. Students. Nigeria. Students again. So let's talk. So first, I think I even need to... So for some very interesting reason, the policy and the way it's reported is awkwardly sketchy, but I'm just going to share with you what's in the news, okay? National policy on health workforce migration addresses the critical challenges, and so that maybe that's again the actual title of this policy, the National Policy on Health Workforce Migration. Okay, now this is supposed to address the critical challenges facing Nigeria's health human resources. They say that as AU champion for human resources for health and community health delivery partnership, Mr. President's commitment is to a resilient and robust healthcare system, and this is supposed to be a powerful reflection in the forward-looking policy. This policy, they say, is more than just a response to the ongoing exodus of healthcare professionals. It's a comprehensive strategy to manage, harness, and reverse health worker migration. It envisages a thriving workforce that is well supported, adequately rewarded, and optimally utilized to meet the healthcare needs of all Nigerians. So again, it's envisaged to bring about a thriving workforce that is well supported, 1, adequately rewarded, 2, optimally utilized to meet the healthcare needs of all Nigerians. I'm going to just quickly just go to the telephone lines. I want to open up the telephone lines, and I think you're probably going to be tempted to say what you have said before. But now that this administration is on a national policy, and this policy is aimed at the health workforce migration, they say this policy is supposed to achieve a kind of reversal of health worker migration. Imagine on this very same day, we're going to speak about this policy and the kidnap of 20 medical students. The irony. 02012770 0201-465-7190. And our WhatsApp number is 08095975805. Let's talk, ladies and gentlemen, about this tragedy, this reoccurring tragedy. We've had a Commodore here. We've spoken to security agents. The government has attempted to give a form of, pacifying statement to allay fears and provide a kind of emotional, I don't know if I can call it emotional support for the terrified public every time this issue of kidnap comes up. And if it's not students today, it's teachers tomorrow, it's farmers. You see that farmer one? Like, just ridiculous, right? And here again, another worse kind of tragedy where we're talking about students, medical students, in a period where the government is working on a policy to retain workers from leaving Nigeria to other countries. If you're a health worker listening to Nigeria Info this afternoon, I want to find out, would you stay in Nigeria? I'm not sure how this policy is supposed to be achieved, but given that it's in the pipeline, I want to believe that they know what they're talking about when they say that this is supposed to retain workers, reward you adequately, and support you very well in order for you to provide your services. We're Nigeria Info. My name's Joyce. Good afternoon to you. You're on the sunny side.
Hello, Joyce. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you. Thank you so much for calling. What's your name?
You're welcome. My name is Victor. I'm calling from Ikorodu.
Welcome, Victor.
Thank you. Joyce, to begin with, I have to be honest with you. Mm-hmm. This country has turned into something else. And the bottom of the whole problem we're having in this nation is still the government. Let us be frank with you. Because the issue of this kidnapping, the truth is this. They know where all these problems are coming from. They know the sponsors of all these kidnappers. These same guys that is carrying out this particular act, they have whom they are working for. And these people know the people that they are working for, but they don't want to bring them out. Everything that happens in this nation, if something happens, they'll just sweep it under the carpet. Last time I called on Yeshua, I was telling you that in this country that people are slaves, that Nigerians are slaves to politicians. You were like asking me if I'm a slave. To be honest with you, the truth remains that poor Nigerians are just like, in fact, to these politicians, I don't think if we are human beings, they see us like animals. They have no regard for life. Teaching students, kidnapping students and demanding for ransom 50 million at this particular point in time. Where are they going to get that amount of money? So honestly, we are in a very serious problem in this country. And until Nigerians wake up and tell you the simple truth, these problems will not end. To be honest, it's just that this is the national radio. To be honest with you, in fact, I have to say it. Until somebody rises up and repeats what J.J. Lawrence of Ghana did, this country will never be better. Good afternoon.
Thank you very much for 99.3 Nigeria Info. And yes, abductors are demanding a ransom of 50 million naira. So, the interesting question here is, of the 20 students that have now been kidnapped, if the government presents this policy to any of or all 20 of them and saying, here's a policy to retain you in this country after you're done with your studies, how many of them will stay? Let's talk. Good afternoon to you, 99.3 Nigeria Info.
George, good afternoon.
Welcome.
Thank you very much.
Hello? Sorry, I lost you. Make it back. The sunny side where Nigeria info.
Yes, good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you.
How was your weekend, Joyce?
Fine, thank you. Tell us your name. Go ahead.
This is Mr. Frank.
Good.
Now you hear me very clear.
I can't. Go ahead.
Yeah. You see, it baffles me when I hear things like this. This country. Can you hear me?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yes. Because when you want to, if you go to South East, you will see army checking points everywhere, police checking points everywhere. You go to when the time of elections will come, police will they deploy 30,000 policemen, 50,000 soldiers. And you get to when they want to do protests in this country, you will see police everywhere. And you will see most of the policemen and soldiers ranting, bragging with their tear gas, with their machine guns, with their water pumps everywhere. So we have all these things, and we still have the mind to be listening today that kidnappers are still here in this country. How many kidnappers now went for that journey? How many policemen did we have in this country? How many soldiers? How many policemen have they deployed in Benue? How many soldiers have they deployed there? How many? Now, do you see when we talk, it will look as if we are saying we are just lamenting. What will be the fate of all these children? Are they coming back? Will they come back alive? How many now? 20 students. How many will come back alive? When they come back, what do you think that will be their mental health? Would they like to remain here in this country again? Or would they like to work for this country again? So if the president is hearing, let him do something. Because he is the one who sent all these ministers, all these defense ministers, IGP and commissioners. Let them go inside all these areas. We have kidnappers and terrorists everywhere and freeze them out. That strength they will use to gather strength to fetch out all the protest sponsors. Let them use it let them use out all the kidnapper sponsors, all the terrorist sponsors. Last week or last week in Nigeria, was it FM? The news came out that one of the lawmakers was involved in kidnap a lawmaker in Nigeria. And he is still working. Nothing has been said about it. It's not good. Let them know that we are human. And the anger of God will fall.
Hello? Okay. Hello, Nigeria info. You on the sunny side. Welcome.
Hello.
Turn up the volume of your radio set.
Sorry about that. Good afternoon, Joyce.
Welcome. Good afternoon. Tell us your name. Go ahead.
Chris.
Good.
This is Chris. I think these guys, I want to say they are cowards. Why going for students? Innocent student. You remember the case of that doctor? Since December, the doctor is still with these guys. If they are not cowards, why not go for the people who are making things difficult for you? And one thing again, these are our military or security agents. I don't understand. Oh Lord, Joy, this is not making of mouth. Oh. If I'm one of them, forget about all these politicians sponsoring whatever. You hear what Mr. Frank just said, one of them. Even a former governor. He had something to do with all these bad guys. And today he's a minister. And the security agent, they kept quiet. That's why I always tell them, this dining, you're dining with all the politicians. You use long spoon to dine with them. How can I be? My people are in Sokoto, you don't have any soldiers they killed the other day at Sokoto? Is it the one of Niger? You want to tell me these guys are more than them? I saw the army patrol team there 2 days ago. I said, wow. If this one can patrol that Madugri Azit or whatever, who is those kidnappers? But no. Buhari called me, tell us he will fight this in 3 months. He didn't do any 8 years he left. This one that is there, former head of state or former president, are giving him pass mark. Oh, the man is doing well. What did he promise? Insecurity will be the thing of the past. Today, where are we? People are dying. So the kidnappers, if you know you are not cowards, stop going for innocent children, students, doctors. Go for the people who are making life difficult for you. And the security, especially the service chiefs, is a slap on their face. I can't be a general in the army. Then this type of thing will be happening in my country? No way. Let them keep on dining with these politicians. Maybe they are taking sides with them. We all are in for it. Thank you, Joyce.
Okay, thank you. 99.3 Nigeria Info, the Sunny Side. We're going to quickly go off on a very, very short break. We're coming back to this conversation because it's also worth noting that the Nigerian military even recently pledged continuous fight against insurgency. I think I want to find out whether you think much is being done, whether anything is actually being done. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
The Tournament of Champions is over, and the new week offers more twists and turns. Here are the fixtures for Monday. At 3 p.m., Omar Benedi Excel will meet Itomi Bernard Samuel on the topic. Should drug trafficking and abuse be addressed primarily through stricter law enforcement measures or through public health approaches? And at 4 o'clock, Mary Uke Ashia and Adio Afolarin will debate the topic. Should Nigeria prioritize economic growth over climate change initiatives? And at 5 p.m., Adekbetu Adenike and Akilo Seyon Charles will face off on the topic. Should content creators be held to the same ethical standards as traditional media? Judges will save one loser on Monday. I am Yvonne Ochaifo. Join Femi Obong Daniels and me as we discover the wild card. I beg to differ. Tournament of Champions. 16 debaters, now 12. One winner, 2 million naira. Supported by Chrisland Schools, Olaiya Foods, Obiwizi, Call to Fly, and Biloxi. For sponsorship, send an email to info@nigeriainfo.fm. I beg to differ. A Tournament of Champions.
Who says you can't have it all with one play?
I got that defined boy. You have just won yourself.
Congratulations.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, Melitus. One player, don't talk to 2 players because you won 20K.
So now you won yourself 20,000 naira.
My name is Well Done.
Okay, well done. You want to tell you well done. You won yourself 20,000 naira.
With 500 naira, you can play to win big from 120,000 naira to 190,000 naira daily on Nigeria Info. Go to oneplay.ng and play with 500 naira. And in a few seconds, your ticket is in the draw. Or dial *347 *880 *3 hash. Win daily on Nigeria Info. 50,000 naira on Morning Crossfire. 60,000 naira on WhatsApp Lagos. 20,000 naira on Sunnyside. And 60,000 naira on Game On. So Lagos, what are you waiting for? The more you play, the better your chances of winning. Remember to dial *347 *880 *3 hash. Play responsibly. Not suitable for persons under the age of 18.
.3 Nigeria Info, the Sunny Side. I'm going to quickly read you a tweet from one of the students kidnapped. We were kidnapped on our way to Enugu for a convention. They are requesting 50 million for 20 of us medical students. Please help us. We haven't eaten in 2 days. Then he places a phone number of someone who, according to the person tweeting, whose name is Kingsley, says this is who we are gathering the money with. So here, the Nigerian students from their den or wherever they've been stuffed are sending tweets to the Nigerian public to get the Nigerian public to either retweet or maybe to get them to speak on their behalf and draw attention to the situation. And so once again, I think it's necessary to even look deeply into this issue of, one, insecurity. Secondly, the entire medical, institution of the entire medical sector as a whole. So first of all, I think the immediate interface for Nigerians would be Nigerians going to the hospitals. And if you go to, whether to a private hospital, you know what you experience. You go to a public hospital or a government hospital, you know what you're experiencing. But one thing is certain, is that we have so many medical doctors. We even have nurses. We have people, other practitioners within the medical field, packing their bags and going to other countries. And this has been happening for years. So much so that the government is now passing a policy to ensure that they are paid well, they're catered for, in order to retain them in the country. Let's talk about retaining medical workers. Will this policy even work? 99.3 Nigeria Info, the sunny side. We're talking about the 20 medical students who were kidnapped a few days ago, and the ransom, according to one of the students kidnapped, is 50 million Nigerian naira. We're going to go for a break. When we come back, this conversation continues on Nigeria Info.
Activate. We are radio active on 99.3 Nigeria Info. My name is Joyce.
This is the sunny side. We go hard and in depth.
The real discourse and commentaries right here
on Nigeria Info.
This is a clear situation of Konima die, Konima burial.
What kind of marriage is that?
You are calling it marriage. In that fact, now what?
Isn't there a tradition like when you're pissed, you can walk away? You don't have that tradition?
Radio at its finest.
It's 99.3 Nigeria Info.
Your number one station for talk. It's 1 o'clock.
The news update on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
99.3 Nigeria Info. You are listening to the news updates this hour. Nigeria Info's I Beg to Differ debate tournament of champions enters the next stage this week. Starting today, six debaters will go head to head to move to the next round. At 3 p.m., Omar Benedi Excel will meet Itomi Bernard Samuel on the topic: should drug trafficking and abuse be addressed primarily through stricter law enforcement measures or public health approaches? And then at 4 o'clock, Mary Uke Ashia and Adjoa Folarin will debate the topic: should Nigeria prioritize economic growth over climate change initiatives? And then at 5 p.m., Adekwetu Adenike and Akilo Seyon Charles will face off on the topic: should content creators be held to the same ethical standards as traditional media? Judges will save one loser today. Join us from 3 p.m. for these exciting debates. And as petrol scarcity persists in Lagos State, Nigeria Info has observed that some petrol stations are currently closed. We understand that this is due to the unavailability of petroleum products. However, some that are selling are experiencing long queues. Our correspondent Maureen Ogola reports that in Owode Onirin area of the state, the fuel stations are out of stock. At Ojota Axis, Nena reports that the total fuel station in Ikorodu is also not selling petrol. Mobile on the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway has an extremely long queue, almost stretching to Secretariat bus stop. Some other fuel stations along Ikorodu Road are selling, but have long queues as well, which have extended to the roads and added to the usual Monday traffic. Here on the island, our reporter Emmanuel Josiah reports that some petrol stations along the Lekki-Ekpe Expressway are shut down because they do not have petrol to sell. In Victoria Island, there are long queues at the MRS and mobile stations along the Ahmadu Bello Way. Meanwhile, President of the Petroleum Products Retail Outlets Owners Association, Billy Gillis-Harry, has attributed the scarcity to the lingering logistic challenges. Gillis-Harry adds that oil retailers are currently supply constrained and can only distribute what they have. He insists that until the supply challenges are sorted out, Nigerians will not be able to get out of this cycle. Niger Delta rights activist Ann Coy Briggs says the clamor for a new Nigerian constitution is to give every Nigerian a sense of belonging. The member of the Patriot Group, who are advocating a new Nigerian constitution, claims that the current constitution operational in Nigeria is not a people's constitution. Speaking on Nigeria Info's Morning Crossfire, Ann Briggs maintains that reviewing the same constitution is no longer acceptable. An Israeli ambassador to Nigeria, Michael Freeman, says the death toll being put out by Hamas is being exaggerated. He insists that the Israelis have no interest in being in Gaza. Instead, they want to have a peaceful border there. Speaking on Nigeria Info's Borderline, Freeman explained that the death of the Palestinians was an absolute tragedy, and that Israelis were doing everything possible to minimize civilian casualties on behalf of the Palestinians. And that's the news update this hour. You are still listening to The Sunny Side with Joyce on 99.3 Nigeria Info. I am Yvonne Okaifo.
Quality talk.
Intelligent conversations.
Always interesting.
So engaging.
Sometimes even mind-boggling.
Nigeria Info. Ask everyone. Anyone.
We're back, 99.3 Nigeria Info. You're on the sunny side. My name is Joyce. Okay, I want to quickly share with you a report, a medical report by an institution known as the Lancet. The Lancet in February of 2024, this year, came up with a statistic, and God alone knows how they pretty much arrived here, because on first sight, this is quite terrifying. According to the Lancet, the doctor-patient ratio in Nigeria stands at an alarming 1 doctor to 9,000 patients, far from the recommended 1 to 600 ratio. So what they thought was, at least in your public sector, 1 to 600 ratio, it said that in Nigeria is 1 to 9,000. Okay. And I guess the Nigerian government has finally decided to take the matter seriously and do something about the issue. So here they are working through a policy that's supposed to reward medical practitioners fairly well in order to retain them. And yes, you kind of have a clear idea. Retaining means prevents them from leaving the country, including, I even hear that there's a possibility that somewhere in this policy, the policy also intends to get medical practitioners overseas to come back to Nigeria. Well, let's talk. I guess Nigeria has to work. Do the policies capture the reality? Do the policies capture the reality? We're talking now about 20 medical students kidnapped, and they're somewhere beneath the sun. The Nigerian government must really know where they are, because once too many, they've been told. We've seen even on social media. I remember one time a police officer was quoted to have said, I found it. He says, and I quote, "Many here think they are untraceable. Very funny. I can give details of every single handle here within 2 hours, but we need to relate well with people to get close to them. And we should know that there are laws guiding our posts, our publications, our comments, and so on online." So that someone had to go capture that particular tweet from the police official and say, kindly help us trace medical students who have been kidnapped in Benue State. So I think when the government wants to work, they really know how to work. But one wonders what exactly is happening here. Let's talk. Good afternoon. As a patient, it extremely saddens me all what's going on with the kidnapping. How this government is quick to mobilize against protesters and cannot handle kidnappings, insecurities. It's all a shame. He says on the health reform, it's a lie. I boldly say so because why would the portal of nursing and midwifery council be shut down first in December of 2023 and finally somewhere in since February 2024, so that Nigerian nurses are unable to pursue overseas opportunity? Hold on a second. Someone is drawing our attention to something. He's saying that there's a website for nurses and midwives, and according to this particular tweet, so if you're a nurse or a midwife, can you corroborate this? This particular message goes that the portal for nurses and midwives has been shut down first in December 2023, finally in February 2024, so that Nigerian nurses are unable to pursue overseas opportunities. Let's talk Lagos, Nigeria. This is 99.3. We're Nigeria Info. If you had the opportunity, considering the Nigerian policy to properly cater for you or cater to you as a medical practitioner, would you stay in Nigeria? Welcome to the show. You're on the sunny side. Can you hear us? Okay, good afternoon to you. Welcome. How many?
Thank you very much. Come and wine. It's very, very pathetic and terrible and unfortunate for the daughters kidnapped. You ask a question, say, have they doing anything very, very good or very well for insurgency? Nothing they are doing. Number one, they say they are going to bring forest guard that are going to help our farmers so that they will not be killed. Nigeria government have been talking about the policies upon policies, but they are not doing anything about it. Secondly, our doctors that are traveling out, if they know how to pay Nigerian judges that are not processing, that are not accessing salary agreements, so they're supposed to pay Nigerian workers, implement a 70,000 sharp. The doctor that want to tap, they should pay them. Are you hearing me?
I'm listening.
Not only judiciary and National Assembly and legislative, because they don't have 7 heads. I repeat and repeat. 75 of them entered through INEC. That's why they are doing nonsense. Finally, this insurgency started in 1982 by Mr. Singh, got to Nigerian Kano heads.
What?
Before Buhari came from GOC in Calabar and pursued them back. It is the first in 1991 in Kano riot. It is the first again in Sanford and Kaduna 2000. And finally, it is afraid 2009 when they killed Yusuf. So if they know how they bring them from West Africa, and if they don't know how they bring them, let them, it is a Jonathan who go hand over. So it is them that bring them, let them carry them back.
Okay, thank you. But but I was wondering that this medical students now, there is this kidnap and a 50 million naira ransom to release 20 million of them. 20 of them. Where are they going to get the money? 1, 2. This policy is supposed to retain medical workers in Nigeria. Do you think this policy will work, given what you already know? Sadly, what we're even talking about, which is the kidnap of 20 medical students. This policy, whatever it is, would it achieve its aim in Nigeria? Good afternoon to you. You're on the sunny side. I cannot hear you. I'm sorry. You're going to have to call back. The sunny side. Good afternoon to you. Turn up the volume of your radio set.
Good afternoon. My name is Samuel.
Welcome, Sam. Go ahead.
Yeah. So that message you just read now about the nurses.
Yeah.
Yeah. I came across it this morning on Twitter. So so many people also talked about it and how they've restricted them from traveling. You know what these people do? They don't want you moving forward, and they don't want to provide the necessary facilities and equipment for people to work in. Now you are restricting doctors from traveling out. You want them to stay in your country to work. You are not providing security. Every government official is moving on. They are doing their duties as if nothing is going on. The president has not even said anything about it. He's planning about traveling to France. They finally released this private jet for him. So just look at this country. If something like that, 20 lives, medical doctors.
Do you think the policy may be able to achieve its aim of retaining workers in Nigeria? Health workers.
The policy cannot achieve any aim. It cannot achieve any aim because security of life and property, that is the first important decision of the government. So if the government fails to secure life and property, then why are we even here? People are moving out to gain better life, to become something better. Now, the few ones that have refused to travel, that they are even staying behind, their lives are not guaranteed. So what are we saying?
Okay.
So I am due to that. Sorry, concerning that message you read, I want Nigerians to kick against such laws, because if these people will continue doing that to every profession in Nigeria, now we might be moving on, saying it's not our business, it's affecting nurses and midwives alone. They will move into engineering, into the engineering sector. They will move into the law. They will move into other aspects also.
Okay.
So this Nigerian government, they have nothing, especially this FPT government. They just took the power, grabbed it, around with it. They have no business. They have no idea about running a state or a government.
Thank you.
Sorry, I want to say something again. Please, can you send someone to confirm the price of a bag of rice? Because I heard something this morning, but I don't want to believe it.
Yeah, but what area are you?
130,000.
Well, yeah, but I think that's in the north. I also saw that news article. It's in the north, not in Lagos. Move around your neighborhood. Ask people in your neighborhood.
Just imagine.
Well, go and ask first before you give me something to imagine.
Let me. I'll step out.
Thank you.
I'll call you back tomorrow.
It better not be happening. Okay, 99.3 Nigeria Info. If you're a nurse or a midwife, I want you to be anonymous if that's what you can afford. I want to know what's really happening and what are the inner workings that you feel are limitations to your dreams as far as you being in the health sector goes. But first, information you can use.
Yes, information that you can definitely use. It is time for summer camp. Upbeat Summer Camp is an unforgettable 8-week summer camp adventure where on-site excitement and skill development await. Our comprehensive program offers a diverse range of core activities such as gymnastics, a chef academy, football, basketball, AI, artificial intelligence, and robotics for on-site skill development for kids during this summer. Every Friday, participants will also enjoy engaging in art and craft, virtual games, trampoline sessions, and outdoor activities. Upbeat Summer Camp is happening at the Upbeat Center at number 11 Admiralty Road, Lekki, Phase 1, Lagos. Weekly bookings amount to 60,000 naira. The daily bookings are 15,000 naira. And we have a 10% discount for siblings. Starting from July the 22nd and ends September the 7th, 2024. For inquiries and sponsorship as well as partnerships, please contact us at the number 0908 878-8994. That is 0908-878-8994. Brought to you by Upbeat, the first trampoline and family entertainment center in West Africa.
The sunny side, and yes, we're on this conversation. Hello, welcome to the show. What's your name?
My name is Wale.
Welcome, Wale. Thank you so much for calling.
Yeah. With the topic you are discussing, I want to say, if I look at how this government started, that it seems it's possible. I mean, that they can stop the migration, even bring it in other one back. Because if you look at their
it seems
program,
possible or impossible?
I think it's possible.
Oh, okay.
I think it's possible. Because if you look at it very well, so anything that favors them, they want to do it. They don't even need to consult Nigeria. Right from day one, subsidy is gone. To the floating of Naira, to the shaking of national item. I can keep on mention, buying of luxurious car to my SUV to our National Assembly member and all those things. All this doesn't take time. They will bring it, into being. You find that whatever the target they want to do, they succeeded doing it. And that has been since the inception of this particular government. So if they are not targeting a medical worker, don't be surprised. Don't just be surprised. No, you should not be surprised. They will end up succeeding. But the one thing they have failed us is those agitation, those things we are calling for as a citizen of the country. Give us security in the country. It has been the same story since the session. Protect our lives has been issue. Economy has been issue.
Okay.
When it comes to all those ones, they come with different propaganda and all the rest. So I'm a bit worried because the way we are going this particular government, they have been always having their way when it comes to their fear of the nation. Where on earth 20 medical staff have been kidnapped now for more than 3 days, and there is no official statement. And in the news now, it is certain that the president is leaving the country. And we say he is the father of a nation. Now, if a father of a nation has his children under the custody of kidnappers, wicked people, and you are leaving them in the hands of these wicked people, just like that. We really put ourselves in the people's shoes. This is the kind of trauma this will be facing. And now they will come out from maybe at the end of the day, because just like you said, I've read the statement too on earth that they started killing them. Can you imagine that kind of thing?
Do you think this policy that the government is working on can achieve its aim? You really are persuaded that it can achieve its aim of keeping health workers back home?
I'm telling you, it's possible because they can come with one law and the other now. That will, for example, see what they were trying to do. The midwife and the nurse. Then they are saying you have to get this, you have to get this, you have to get this.
Thank you.
Don't be surprised. don't just be surprised.
Well,
we are in a regime that, I mean, when it's time to do something, I mean, they end up doing it, particularly in those who are not really for the majority of the people in the country.
thank you very much for calling. I do appreciate. If you're a nurse or you're a midwife, I need you to, even if you have to be anonymous, can you at least give me some behind the fence work and behind the veil report of what's happening in your sector? Nigeria Info, welcome. 20 medical students have been kidnapped and the government is working on a policy to retain health workers in the country.
Hi, Lady G.
Good afternoon. Thank you very much for calling.
This is Eboli calling from the corridor.
Good to have you.
So I don't know why these people just keep concocting one particular bill or the other to enslave citizens that are supposed to be free in their own land. So you asked the question. You said, if given the opportunity, of course, every medical student, even those are in the other field, including myself, I would not stay. Number one, there's no conducive environment to practice. Everything is just jam-packed. Look at what you're saying now. Medical students have been abducted. So are you telling me that given the opportunity, those students are released free? You tell me they would stay? They won't. They won't. Is it the cost of drugs, cost of equipment, running at a loss? What exactly is the machinery that they've set it out? They would make them decide to set up such bill. Seriously? Do these people even want liberation for people at all? Or they are living the largest life and you bound the rest of the people to the Philistines? I don't get it. How could you concoct such bill, propose such laws, amidst all this crisis? The president gets it off to France. Who does that?
All right. Well,
see,
thank you.
You were saying something. I'm listening. I honestly, it's frustrating. The prayer a Nigerian should pray on a daily basis is that may Nigeria not happen to you, because as it stands, that is the highest prayer you can pray. Nigeria is happening to a whole lot of people right now. Cost of foodstuffs, everything, medical, don't even get sick in this period. And on top of all this, top-notch insecurity. And people are there, nobody's holding anybody accountable. And the only thing they can do is to bring out stupid, crude laws that won't value the life of the citizens.
Don't you think this policy, according to them, at least it does quite appear that their vision is that this would make the lives of health practitioners better in Nigeria? Enough for them to stay back and even possibly reach across the borders and bring those who are overseas back home. You don't think so?
Lady J, those ones that are there, if they should try such, of course, I tell you, some of them would rather plead asylum rather than come back to Nigeria. I'm telling you.
Thank you very much.
Once you step out of the church of this country, you'd rather remain there, seek asylum than come back to Nigeria. If I see an opportunity, Lady J, I am off, honestly. Seriously.
Right. Thank you. Thank you so much for calling. I do appreciate. We want to quickly share some details with you. It's necessary information. I think you should have it.
You asked and we have listened. Welcome back to the Peter Rufai Summer Sports Camp. The program is continuing with, and it of course is bigger and better. It has been an incredible summer so far, and we are excited to keep the momentum going due to popular demand. Don't miss out on this perfect opportunity for your children to discover and nurture their innate talent in the game of football, as well as basketball and other sports. Yes, your preferred summer program is coming back, and it promises to be unforgettable and enriching and inspirational and exciting and full of possibilities. It will also boost your children and make them stand out from the crowd. Register today and enjoy the drills, skills, and thrills with true legends of the games. Dudu Mayana being one of them. Peter Rufai himself is going to be there, as well as other experienced coaches. Parents, of course, are not left out. Come, let us create beautiful memories together. It's going to be fun. Yes, Peter Rufai's Summer Sports Camp, Amuwa Odofin chapter, starts on Monday, the 19th of August, and it will be ending on Saturday, the 31st of August, 2024. It will be happening at two locations, the Darius Turf in Amuwa Odofin, and of course, the City Pride School, also in Amuwa Odofin, Festac, Lagos. Registration is open to boys and girls between the ages of 3 and 17. For inquiries or sponsorship, contact us at 0810-058-0744 or 0806-498-8993, or write at starroofofficial@gmail.com, or you could send a WhatsApp message to 0811-230-1652. This initiative is powered by Star Roof Sports Development and supported by Cool FM, Nigeria Info, and Wazobia FM. Your child's well-being and safety is of utmost priority. Peter Rufai's Summer Sports Camp, rekindling your innate potentials.
Okay, I have a message here. I really want to read it. Welcome. You're listening to Nigeria Info, and it does quite appear that there are opposites. One reality different from the other. The government versus the people. Nurses, who now has been a very brilliant injection into our conversation. So this is Benny from Ikorodu. He sent me a message, and I want to share with you. After spending fortunes to go get greener pastures abroad alongside my family, where better life is guaranteed, the government is now telling me to come back home over a new policy that wouldn't see the light of day. Sorry, I'm not coming back. Okay, so let me go to another message here. Good afternoon, Joyce. The news about Nigerian Nursing Council blocking the portal for verification of licenses, which will enable nurses to travel outside the country, is true. My sister is in Saudi Arabia, and she was telling me last week that some of the nurses that came to Saudi 2 months ago are about to be returned to Nigeria because of the verification portal being closed. This is Chibweze from Iyano Ikpaja. So, ladies and gentlemen, it does quite appear, at least from the mouth of two or three, we can establish, say, a relative truth. Now, one may say maybe the portal is just down, undergoing maintenance. Maybe that's why. But then again, it does quite appear that something is really amiss here. If you are a nurse, if you're a midwife, I would love to know what you have experienced, the obstacles you have encountered in your pursuit to use that portal. Apparently, from what I'm getting now, the portal is a means to verify your nursing status or your midwife status. The sunny side, welcome to Nigeria Info. 20 medical students have been kidnapped. The ransom over their heads is 50 million Nigerian naira. We are waiting for the government to establish how and when their release will be ensured. While that's in the pipeline, the government say they're working on a policy to make life better for those in the medical sector. I'm not sure what you know, how much you know, or even what you're persuaded by. If you are a medical practitioner, considering the Nigerian concept of policies, would this policy prevent you from pursuing your goal of leaving the country? If, for example, that's your goal, we're talking on Nigeria Info. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, good afternoon, Joyce. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. Welcome. Tell us your name.
Jonathan is my name.
Welcome, Jonathan.
Joyce, have you noticed recently that this leadership has decided to adopt policies that will address sections?
Okay.
Today I'll pick carpenter, tomorrow I'll pick rewire, next tomorrow I'll pick bricklayer, next tomorrow I'll pick journalist. That's what I see this leadership doing. And as far as I'm concerned, they are not looking or solving problems on or in the bigger picture. They are not addressing issues on the bigger picture. They are not addressing issues that will attend to all of us simultaneously.
Okay.
As far as I'm concerned, this is just like a gambling thing. And I want to believe the doctors are not going to fall for it. Because they know that if they come back to this country, they will still come and grapple with no power situation. They will still come and grapple with bad roads. They will still come and grapple with economic hardship. They will still come and grapple with insecurity problem. So they will not leave countries that are organized. They will not come here. On how much? Now look at what has happened to their colleagues now. And by the end of this scenario, Joyce, are you there?
I'm with you. Go ahead, please.
By the end of this scenario that has happened to these innocent doctors now, the authorities will come on the air. They will say they have been able to secure their release. After that, we will not hear anything again. Since today, the kidnapping that happened in Kaduna, that train, when the train first moved, that they kidnapped Nigerians, each Nigerian paid 100 million, foreigners paid 200 million. The people that committed that act...
Isn't that alleged? Are you sure it's 100 million each? That would be... Where are they going to get it from?
Check it. Joyce, check it very well.
No, I don't think
that were kidnapped, girl, there was a lady that was killed on that train. She was about to travel out, if you remember that story.
Yeah, but I don't think it's 100 million each.
Go and read about it, Joyce. Each Nigerian paid 100 million to be free. foreigner paid 200 million. That is what is on the media. And that's why
I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't know that. I don't think that's accurate.
But I want you to go and read about it.
I will.
That's why Gumi and that other man that was repatriated from, was it Kenya? What's his name?
Okay. So you don't think the government is really taking their policies are not aimed at collective development, general advancement. Thank you.
So for me, I think they should look at the bigger picture. What will solve everybody's problem at the same time?
All right.
And stop picking sections by section. You are just running from pillar to post.
This policy by the government, do you think it's going to really prevent medical practitioners from leaving the country?
At all.
Thank you.
He's not going to do anything.
Thank you. Thank you very much for calling. I appreciate it. I have a message here from an anonymous, and that's the thing. I love it that you're anonymous. And I appreciate the message you have sent in. Good afternoon, Joyce. I'm a senior doctor. I moved to Lagos a few months ago. Doctors in Lagos are paid peanuts. After paying for transport and feeding, I can't pay my house rent from my salary. Ask me, Joyce, should I continue to stay in this country that does not value its doctors? Anonymous from Lagos. Thank you so much, Anonymous. And so that's the problem. He's a senior doctor who moved to Lagos and is finding out that doctors in Lagos are being paid peanuts. And I was going through the Lancet report, and it was said that doctors work excessively. They work unreasonable hours that contribute to their burnout. These excessive hours contribute to their burnout, heighten the risk of medical errors that jeopardize patient safety, and tragically result in fatalities amongst even doctors. Okay, so you flip this somehow, and you're beginning to have nuggets fall all over the place. And plus, the tragedy of having 20 medical students now kidnapped with a 50 million naira ransom demanded for their release. That's one. The Nigerian government believes that there's a policy that is able to satisfy, because it would not just achieve satisfaction, but also it would, pacify Nigerians who may have had the ambition of wanting to leave because, of course, according to report, the push factors are insecurity, unemployment, underemployment, poor payment. So now the government is saying we take all of your concerns into account and help you stay. Okay, we're back. Let's talk. Hello.
Hello, Joyce. Good afternoon.
Yes, welcome.
Yeah, I decided to call in because of...
Are you a doctor?
No.
Nurse, okay.
My wife is a nurse.
Your wife's a nurse, okay.
Yes. So, and regarding the policy they are trying to put in place, they actually started it for some time now. So that it came to open or to the knowledge of the public just recently. How do I mean by that? There was a time when the issue of forgery became a popular problem of Nigeria. So all those I'm precisely going to refer to as of last year.
Forgery? Who? Politicians or nurses or doctors?
One of our politicians has forgery or...
Okay. Then?
So that time, most of the nurses who were already, even some of them that were already working in UK and some other developed countries, they have to tell them to...
Oh, they were scrutinized?
Yes.
Okay.
Trace their certificate to their institution to confirm whether they were genuine nurses or doctors. So that slowed down the movement of my own wife.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So she has gotten to a particular level before that time. Now they have to get them to go back and get all their references.
Did your wife confirm to you that the said portal was blocked because...
recently, because my wife has already scaled through that.
I see. Okay.
Above that topic. But it's true. Because those who came after her, who are in that video, because they're talking to you, they have a group, a WhatsApp group.
Okay.
For a particular country they are immigrating to. So, those who newly joined the group, who are on the process of moving out, they are not allowing them. They are not giving them their references again. As I'm talking to you.
Oh wow!
So they are through with their IELTS because IELTS is part of that program. Some of them are through with their IELTS, but the school they graduated from have been mandated not to give them their reference whatever.
Okay. Wow.
Even now, where they are working, when my wife is working, if you want to request your reference, there is a reference they will request for you to submit from your employer. Now, if you are going to make that request, you are going to pay, my wife just paid 10,000 naira. It was originally free. You get it being signed and given to you, then you send. But now they are paying 10,000 naira.
Okay, thank you. Do you think this policy would be able to achieve its aim, which is to retain workers, health workers, back in this country?
Why I will say yes and I will say no. How I mean by that is yes aspect of it is maybe taken seriously as at the moment it will work. But why I will say no because they are not planning or trying to help these people in that industry, in that profession. Because look at the security we are talking about now. Look at the underpayment in that. How one of your adverts in your radio, in your station says, how can people who train themselves through news and whatever, somebody will say they cannot migrate. I always listen to
All
that.
right, thank you.
So it is a very serious situation now.
Thank you.
Who are online cannot go forward because of that policy.
I appreciate. Thank you so much. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Someone has sent me a screenshot of an email either he got or someone got. I'm not sure, but I have a screenshot here. And the heading goes, "We would not be able to move forward with offering you a job until..." Then let's go to the email. And I quote, "This is update on AHS application. Hello, we appreciate your interest in Alberta Health Services and recognize the work you have done in your application. We will not be able to move forward with offering you a job until the Nursing and Midwife Council of Nigeria reopen its license verification. Please email us once the Nurse and Midwife Council of Nigeria is able to provide license verifications again, and we will continue to match you to a position." Okay, we will continue to match you to a position provided the recruitment is still in progress. End quote. Thank you very much for this particular message. So it does quite appear that there is corroboration to the statement that the verification portal for nurses and midwives in Nigeria have been blocked because Nigerians are now appearing to complain. Oh, by the way, gentleman who sent me this email, I don't have a date. Can you give me a date if you have it? Because the email isn't quite dated. Can you send me a date? So I've had like 4 people with messages saying that midwives and nurses are unable to verify their certifications, and as such, it's difficult for them to get jobs overseas. Maybe that's one way this policy is supposed to retain the health workers. But when you think about it, every other Nigerian factor plays a role, including insecurity, which now reports 20 medical students being kidnapped. We're talking on Nigeria Info. My name's Joyce. Welcome to the show. Hello.
Good afternoon, Joyce.
Turn up the volume of your radio set. Tell us your name. Go ahead.
I'm Johnson from Maryland.
I can't hear your name. Please turn up the volume of your radio set. Just speak up for us. Tell us your name.
I'm not using radio yet.
Okay. So what's your name?
Evangelist Johnson. I'm calling you from Maryland.
Okay. Welcome. Go ahead.
This is our country, so we will continue to talk about it.
Could you speak up for us, please? I can't hear you. Can you please speak up? Hello? Okay, the sunny side. How are you?
Oh, just good afternoon.
Afternoon to you. Thank you very much.
I'm John by name. I'm calling from my dad.
Yeah, welcome, John.
Yeah. So I just want to ask a question. This thing is going like this inside this country now. By 2027, can HCCC come out to seek contest for election?
Well, I'm not talking politics at this point. I'm talking about policies and governance and the implications of policies.
So the way things are going to this country is not the way that things used to be. Every day we get killing, kidnapping here and there. Every day bad news to worse to worse. Which can country be this one? We are tired.
All right. Well, thank you so much for calling. I do appreciate. We're going to quickly go off on a break. We'll be right back. This is 99.3 Nigeria Info. You on the sunny side. My name is Joyce. There's another conversation in the wind. I hear that the queues appear to even have lingered longer than anybody anticipated. Well, the excuses are really off the basket. But there's also NAFDAC also, and then there's the cost of food. I'm not even sure what the cost of food is in your neighborhood, but I read something terrifying this morning. Well, terrifying in the sense that it's very concerning, given what disposable income is, given what minimum wage is, given the fact that the Nigerian government, beyond anything else, needs to take the cost of food inflation into serious focus. We're off on a break. We'll be right back. 99.3 Nigeria Info. We'll be right back. We'll be right back for sure. Don't go anywhere.
What's that station again?
Oh yeah, Camo, come
No.
Here's one thing you need to know about yourself. So like here we dey talk.
Yep, bullseye. That's the one.
You're listening to 99.3 Nigeria Info's The Sunny Side. The Sunny Side. Welcome. My name's Joyce.
For news, sports, and talk that you can relate.
If I told you now to come and buy a Shebi for 20,000 naira, then you would quickly get that money out. But if I told you to come and do a health check and you should put down 20,000 naira, you probably would say it's very, very expensive.
That's too much now.
Why should I go and dash one doctor? And because people are not paying attention, people are therefore getting sicker and sicker.
99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
Okay, so I needed to just come in right now and quickly appreciate the gentleman. There's a gentleman on WhatsApp that's sending me screenshots of. Now I have one with an actual date on it. This is dated August 15th, 2024, and it's the Texas Board of Nursing. And I think the first two sentences even say, until further notice, the Texas Board of Nursing has halted the application process for Nigerian applicants whose verification of licenses from the Nigerian NMC is missing or expired. So I guess we can take that to be a further additional piece to the statement of obvious facts, at least from what people are saying, that the verification portal for Nigerian nurses and midwives may be undergoing maintenance to assume the best, and maybe it's an actual block to assume the worst. And it's funny because one of the callers said that this has pretty much been the situation for a period, but has only just come to the notice of the public. So one wonders why the nurses and the midwives didn't quite raise any alarm. Maybe it's not so terrifying, or maybe it's not so much of a concern. All right, so we're going to go to another conversation. Pardon me, I'm really just trying to establish my WhatsApp situation here. I may need my engineers in a moment. Okay, the sunny side, let's go off. Oh, look at that. Okay, hold on a second. We're going to quickly go off on a break. We'll be right back. This is 99.3 Nigeria Info. I want to thank you for the messages. And yes, you promised to send me messages with dates on it, and you did. So yes, I can quite verify that even as recently as August the 12th or 11th, messages are still coming to Nigerians who would not be offered job opportunities because they cannot be verified by the potential employer. Okay, Nigeria Info.
What makes radio the place to be? Well, that's because we start from here.
Leave the compound, not 1, 2, or 3, that somebody will come and say, I'm the only one coming in another 1 or 2 months. You will see that place is like a market. Yeah, so 1 person to 2 to 3 to 4, you don't even know those who are living in that kind of compound. You cannot say, where do you work? Don't worry, I'll tell you.
Over here.
I married my wife when she was very young, and now we have 4 children, and 2 has finished university. She now hates me so much that I've been cheating on her. I'm not happy with the marriage again. I don't still love her, but the way she treats me is the way I don't like it, because she insults me, she brings me to nothing, even in the front of my children.
Time brings us here.
People don't want to see what this government has done, and it's left for them. They want to be picking money on the street. They want government to be dashing money. Government is not Father Christmas. Government really creates the neighborhood.
No, but the people, I don't think that's what the people want, to be honest.
What do they want?
They don't want the government dashing them money. They want something that looks like a fair standard of living. Fair, like just good enough to be called a way to live. My work's done. The sun sets here. Mondays through Thursdays on your number 1 station for talk. 99.3 Nigeria Info.
.3 Nigeria Info. You are on the sunny side, and my name is Joyce. Welcome if you have just tuned in. Did it occur to you that events appear to overshadow events, and when you think one event is really worth discussing, worth being kept elevated, worth being scrutinized, and maybe where necessary, objected to, opposed to, another event comes up. So here is something worth highlighting. Welcome to the sunny side. So the next conversation we're going to have, and I think we need to really just run along with time because I really have like a long list of things I think we should touch on today. Presidential flight, the plane. A few months ago, it was in the news that the president needed to get a better aircraft, a replacement for what appeared to be what he had to use as the president of the nation. Well, many of the aides said, well, maybe not many, but a handful of, the spokespersons said things in the line of the aircraft that was available to the president wasn't
99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.